Hello, welcome staff. This is a presentation on our school, Delta Middle School. This is all data-driven information, so none of this is through perception. This is all based off of the Colorado Department of Education and how the data they have collected from their school dashboard website. And so I hope after this presentation, you have a better understanding of who we are and where we are heading. So here we are DMS. So a little something about who DMS is and who we are. The Delta Middle School is the second largest school in the district. This school, just behind Delta High School, we are the largest middle school in the district, as well as we have more students than any of the other elementaries. So that makes us the second largest school in the entire district. The school works with students from grades 6 through 8, so we get them from all over the district, but most of our students get funneled in from Lincoln Elementary and Garnet Elementary. These students come from mostly a middle to lower class income families, so we deal with a lot of different poverty issues in the area. This is down quite a bit from in the last 5 years, but as many of you know, we have very difficult students that have a very different upbringing than what we are accustomed to, and in a lot of our professional development we address some of those issues and how to cope and handle some of these children. Our student population is 60% Caucasian, 33% Hispanic, and then the rest of the percentages are other nationalities. Right now, we are sandwiched between two other large school districts, Montrose County and Garfield County. That's Grand Junction. We are aware we lose a lot of students to those districts. We know that as well as we lose a lot of staff members to those districts. Both districts have a higher salary rate than we do right now, but we currently are working on those. As you know, you're getting 2 steps this year from different funds. So as of right now, we are doing the best that we can, and are actually very successful while being sandwiched between 2 larger districts that tend to grab a lot of our staff as well as our students. So we're excited about what we're doing with what we have. Our building is currently under construction for a new 7th and 8th grade wing. This should be done by 2019. We are going to hold on our breath through 2018 and just make do and be very flexible with the different grade levels moving around. But as of 2019, we will have a brand new wing, which we're very excited about. The building needs updated. As well as in 2019, we will officially be one-to-one student Chromebooks for every single student. So we're very excited about that right now. We have about a class set for each, but we're not officially one-to-one. But as of the start of the 2019 school year, we will be one-to-one with Chromebooks for every student. So some exciting things happening here at DMS. Let's talk about our students. Some demographics, as you can see in the chart below, from 2011 to 2017, we have grown in population. Now, if you look at other buildings in the district, this chart is not the same. And if you look at the district chart, we're actually down by 1,000 students. But our student population, as you can tell, is staying steadily right in that between 450 and 500. Each year, the count is a little bit different based off of students coming in and students coming out, based off of incomes and things like that. But what is surprising to me to see is as the district itself is down about 1,000 students, we as a building are up from 2011 by about 50, 60 students. So that's encouraging, and that is a big reason why we're having a remodel done for our school, because we are staying steady at that rate. And a big reason for that is we are the only middle school in the area, and we very rarely lose students to different middle schools, unlike the high school where you'll lose students from different, and they'll transfer from different high schools based off of sports or issues with administration. But we're still holding steady with a good population of about 500 students each year. So let's go a little bit deeper into those 500 students. We're going to look at our ELL, our SPED, and our free and reduced lunch. Those are usually the top 3 issues and the top 3 classifications that a lot of buildings are looking at. So let's look at our ELL population. In 2011, we're looking at about 10%. Oh, I'm sorry, down here at 19%. At 20, round up to about 20% 2011, and then 2012, boom, 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 boom. So we're holding steady. We dropped for a little while, but we're back up to about 18% up here. And then our LEP and FEP, we're down to 8%. So our ELL population is holding steady, at about that 18, 19. Never reached that 20%, but so a good portion of our students still are English language learners. Looking at free and reduced lunch, we're looking at about 57.5%. We are climbing, and we know that. As a staff, we realize, and as a community, we realize that with the mines closing in the last 5 years, our clientele has changed. The income has dropped dramatically. And in return, we're seeing our free and reduced lunch count climb to a higher rate. We have things in place for that. Many elementary schools are looking at free breakfast every morning. We have not qualified for that quite yet, but we keep trying every year. And if that climbs to a number that we can get, then yes, we'll qualify for that, and we will use that free lunch. And then looking at our IEP students, we're climbing, and it's going to continue to climb. Talking with elementary principals and teachers, our clientele has changed. In fifth grade alone, in Lincoln Elementary, there was 20% alone in one building. So in just that fifth grade class, so we are going to see the students with disabilities, students with IEPs, at 14% climb, and our goals for the future, when we get to in a minute, are going to help address that large number of IEPs that we're seeing coming in, and hopefully, because those students with IEPs are tested just like the rest of our students at state assessments and regular assessments in the classroom, and we need to find a way to reach their needs and make sure that they're getting the education and pushing them just as much as we are our regular classroom education kids. So we have plans in place, and we'll get to those in a minute. But as we can see, we are climbing, and that is a concern, and that is an issue we will address later on. All right. So who are we now? Let's look at our student achievement scores. This is a pretty interesting piece. So if we look at it breaks it down from all students, English language learners, free and reduced lunch, gifted, minority, and students with IEPs. And then here's kind of the all students. So it gives you the 2015, it gives you 2016 and 2017 down across the bottom. So I like to look at all students first and then work our way down. So as you can tell, for all students for English language arts, we're in that third percentile, which is really where we want to be. So that's what we call proficient. Anything below close to this yellow, we're approaching. Above this, obviously, we've met it and we're doing well. We're above where we need to be. And anything in the red is obviously far from where we want to be. So math scores are right at that approaching level for all students. We're looking at that, and then our science again is in that third tier. So that's a good exciting piece to look at. So if we go deeper and look at some of this, the exciting piece here is our English language learners obviously would struggle with English in the most, and we are in that third percentile. We are proficient, and that's exciting stuff, because if you look at many other schools in the area, English language learners are well below where they want them to be, and our students are not. That's exciting. Math, however, they are much lower. That is our goal for the year, is addressing math, and we'll talk about that later on. But what we're finding is our new curriculum is, and even with the state assessments, is math questions are no longer just numerical questions. They are word problems that require lots of reading skills and dissecting problems, and so we're finding that that the ELA and the math tests correlate. So we have to find a way to get our ELL students to correlate from English to math to understand what they're doing. And then science is down a lot. Science is a tough subject. We can admit we're climbing in 2017, but in 2015 and 16 we know that we made the other two areas area of importance, and then we watched them drop. And since we decided to increase the rigor in science, we have climbed quite well. So we're hoping to increase that in the next couple of years. Free and reduced lunch. Pretty exciting stuff in here. Actually very similar to our English language learners. They're in the 3rd percentile there, and looking at that. So looking at this, the big key here is over here with our students with IEPs, and that goal we're going to address later on here. Okay. Where do we go from here? So this is our growth. I'm going to let you guys. I won't talk very long about this, but this is our growth. So here, where are we going to go? Where do we need to grow the most? And this little thing up here, this little bar here, helps you understand kind of just at a quick glance where we need the most work. So we got school, district, and state for English language for ELA in 16 and 17. School, district, state for 16 in math. School, district, and state for 17. Well, just looking at the colors, without even looking at the numbers, we realize now as a school we need to address our math problem. And so that's where we're going to focus, and that's where we're going to go from here. We're not going to change a ton of what we're doing in our language arts because we're making some growth. But we're going to focus on our IEP students and really focus on our math idea, obviously while still pushing the rigor we have in English language arts. So here are our school goals for the upcoming years. Our goal this year is to focus heavily on math. We want 75% of our kids grades 6 through 8 to be approaching or at the proficient level on the CMAT math tests. So that's a big goal. I'm not necessarily saying that's going to happen overnight or even in the first year, but I know that's something we need to be pushing. So how we're going to do that is we're going to focus on small group instruction to help differentiate instruction to meet all of our students' goals. Okay, one of the things that we saw, one of the achievement and the growth was our IEP students are well below. They're not even approaching. So that's where we need to have a majority of our focus. So our IEP students are going to have a more of a push-in look than a pull-out look. Exposing them to Tier 1 instruction and then only using Tier 2 pull-out as a supplemental piece if need be. But now what we're going to do is that Tier 2 is actually going to happen in that classroom with a small group. So we'll have more of our SPED department being pushed in and helping, and we're almost looking like a team teaching look to hopefully increase those students' IEP's exposure and understanding of the content. We're hoping that is really going to help, and we'll know in the next year or two through different data being collected. We're also going to set an ELA goal to at least maintain and, if possible, increase our test scores from last year. We obviously don't want to fall off and not focus, but we do believe what's happening is really good, and we want to focus on those things. So this is just a quick glance of who we are at DMS. All this information collected, like I said, is from the CDE website. If you guys are interested in going in and taking a deeper look at this, I will share this slide presentation with you, but you also are welcome to visit this website here. This is a link for you. Go ahead and write it down. But this is where this is all data-driven information. This is not just me making a survey or just walking around the building. This is all collected data from the Department of Education here in Colorado, and it has been really beneficial to look at and see who we are and gives us a direction of where we need to be. I hope this helped you understand about a little bit more about where you're working at DMS, and I hope this gets you excited to looking forward to the 2019-2020 school year. Thanks again. Bye.